Okay, this last rule is called edge finding, and I would like you to understand the philosophy and the idea behind edge finding, but I don't ask you to understand really the implementation of it because it requires an additional data structure that is slightly more complex called the lambda theta trees. But the idea of the edge finding is quite simple. It's the fact that you would like to determine that an activity I is that an activity I should be placed after another set of activities omega. Okay, and to trigger this rule, you will assume that it's not the case. Okay, you will assume that it's possible to pack it within the time limit of the latest completion time of the set omega. And if you realize that the earlier starting time of omega union the activity I that you would add plus the processing time of omega union activity I. So if you would include activity I in the set omega, then you cannot pack anymore the set omega within the latest completion time of the set omega. And if this is the case, then you can come to the conclusion that I then must be scheduled after all these activities. And so after all the activities, it means this. It means that you should update the earliest starting time of I to the earliest completion time of the set omega. So let's see in practice what it gives on this small example. I have the activity A, and I will try to see if it's possible to pack activities A, B, C, and D at this limit, okay? Because this is the latest completion time of the set omega that is equal to BCD. Okay, so that's the latest completion time of the set BCD is this. And then what you see is that if you sum the processing time of A, B, C, and D, starting from there, you will probably exceed this limit. And so you will trigger the filtering, and you will say that the activity I should come after all these ones. Okay, should come after all these ones. It means that it should be updated to the earliest completion time of the set omega for A, B, A, C, and D. Okay, and the earliest completion time of A, C, and D is determined by this, and so you will prune all these regions for the activity A in this situation. Okay, it's impossible to schedule the activity at this point. This is called edge finding, and we can again define some nested data structure, but we need to update, in order to be very efficient, you need to update a little bit the lambda theta tree, and you need to introduce gray activities. That's slightly more complex, and I will not enter into all the details of it, but the big message is that you can do that in n log n time, and this exercise is also optional, but it's quite interesting to do. So if you want to do it, feel free to read the slides and implement this algorithm inside the practical session if you're interested to dig a little bit more into this algorithm. I will finish by explaining in which order you should execute all these algorithms, because what we have seen is that we have overload checking, detectable precedence, not first, edge finding, precedence graph, but none of these algorithms is idempotent. So what I mean is that if you would call 2 consecutive times one of these algorithms, you could deduce something new. Okay, so it's quite important to re-execute it if you have detected a change, and so in the domains. And so the way the author of the algorithm proposed to do is first execute the overload checking. If it's consistent, you will execute executable precedences, and as soon as you have a change somewhere in the domains, you restart the loop. Okay, and so this is what you would do as the main loop. Okay, you will always execute them in that order. Okay, until you see that there is an inconsistency, or until you see that there is no change anymore and you have reached the fixed point. Okay, and in the code that we provide, you will see that it's implemented this way. I would like to terminate by giving the credit to this very interesting PhD thesis. This is Petr Vilim. So this is the person who had this idea of introducing the theta trees and the lambda theta trees. And this thesis had a big impact on constraint programming solvers, because most of the algorithms for the disjunctive resources by Petr Vilim are now in n log n, and they used to be in n square or even n cube before. Okay, so that was the very nice idea of considering nested sets and combined with the theta trees. And so this is the inventor of these algorithms.